The man's appetite was astonishing. He could eat hundreds of pounds of rice in just one meal, and his strength was even more terrifying. With just a light tap of his hand, the table instantly shattered into pieces. It turned out that the man was actually the world's #1 karate master. He had long mastered every kind of martial art to perfection. He could easily control every bone and muscle in his body. So even at over 100 years old, he still looked remarkably young. That day, the man took his youngest son, Tom, to a nursing home. Tom had never been interested in martial arts since childhood, which caused him to age like an ordinary person. By his 90s, he was already very frail. The man scolded his son for not working hard, saying that's why he ended up like this. However, the driver thought Tom was actually the man's grandfather and believed the man should show respect to Tom. The man ignored him. When they arrived at the nursing home, their strange situation caught the staff's attention. The man signed the papers on Tom's behalf, then turned to leave. Tom knelt on the ground, saying it was all his fault and that he was unworthy to continue serving his father. The staff hurried to help Tom up, scolding the man for being too harsh and cruel, for treating an old man like that. Only after Tom explained the truth did the staff finally understand who the man really was. After sending Tom into the nursing home, the man returned home. For over 100 years, he had witnessed countless wars and chaos, and defeated many who dared to challenge him. The man had grown tired of it all, and decided to live a quiet life alone in the countryside. That night, the man's great-grandson, Mike, arrived with his wife. Seeing the urn in their hands, the man felt a bad premonition. The woman told him that it was the ashes of Smith and William. It turned out that not long ago, the man's eldest son, Smith, had fought a brutal match. In the ring, Smith deeply regretted not learning more karate from his father. Facing the powerful Taekwondo master Jack, Smith was eventually knocked to the ground. Before he died, Smith declared that karate had not truly lost. His father would come to defeat Jack. Seeing his father stop breathing on the stage, William also went up to challenge Jack. However, he too was no match for Jack, and was ultimately defeated just like Smith. Hearing of his sons and grandsons' tragic fates, the man shed tears of sorrow. However, he soon learned something even more heartbreaking. To prove that Taekwondo was superior, Jack announced he would challenge every karate master. He went to the nursing home, demanding to fight Tom. By then, Tom had already learned of his brother's defeat. While he was grieving, Jack barged in with his students and reporters. Tom had no martial arts foundation at all. He intended to refuse Jack's challenge, but faced with Jack's insults, he still took up a fighting stance. Unfortunately, he too was defeated by Jack. Seeing his sons and grandsons fall one after another to Jack, the man held back his grief and began to pack his belongings. He decided to challenge Jack to avenge his children. Soon, news of the man's upcoming match shocked the entire world. Countless reporters began following and reporting on the story. His fight with Jack attracted a huge audience. People simply refused to believe that the man was over 100 years old and that he could possibly defeat Jack. The national leader, John, also heard the news. He had witnessed the man's terrifying strength when he was a child, but more than 40 years had passed since then, and he wasn't sure what kind of shape the man was in now. He decided to go watch the match in person. Meanwhile, the man first went to the nursing home to see his son one last time. The staff were a little worried, but the man firmly declared that he would definitely defeat Jack. Soon, the day of the man's challenge against Jack arrived. Outside the ring, people eagerly awaited to see through this fight which was truly stronger, karate or taekwondo. To support the man, Mike brought his family to the venue. As the announcer declared, the match was about to officially begin. Jack arrogantly proclaimed that karate was nothing but a scam and that the man could never beat him. At that moment, the man had arrived outside the arena. He ignored the flood of reporters' questions and entered the dojo where the match would be held. Seeing the man holding a weapon, everyone else was puzzled. Only Mike understood. In martial arts tradition, the man had already made up his mind to fight to the death. The man threw his spear to Mike, then walked toward the ring. The fight was already being streamed live online. drawing the attention of the entire world. Viewers everywhere waited eagerly for the outcome. Even John was nervously watching the match. After the man stepped onto the ring, he assumed the same fighting stance his sons had used. The audience burst into laughter at the sight, thinking he was simply repeating their tragedy. But Jack felt a powerful sense of pressure. The man's aura was like that of a tiger, far surpassing any opponent Jack had ever faced before. In a daze, Jack felt as if he were surrounded by the man's presence. To break this overwhelming tension, Jack gathered his courage and launched the first attack toward the man.